Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is me, your English language instructor, Muhammad Hasnain, once again with all of you people. And as you people know, we are once again back at our one and only course, which is the 30 days crash course. And what are we here currently for? We are currently here at day 7. So, what did we learn in the past few days? Roundabout in 1 week, what we learned. So we learned about the most basic structure of a sentence, which was subject plus verb plus object, which is pretty simple for all of us. Then we learned a little bit about types of sentences, positive, interrogative and negative. We learned about vowels and articles and pronunciation a little bit. We also learned in the past videos about how to pronounce things and some other different things that we learned in the past. So let's get back from where we left. And let's go towards our today's topic, which is develop listening comprehensions. Lots of people make this mistake. When you are good at listening comprehensions, you will be good at listening anything. And by anything, I mean anything. Because comprehension are one of the most hardest thing to listen, because there is great vocabulary in it, which is pretty hard sometimes. There is multiple different pronunciations and many more things that you will face. And for that reason, we have these strategies and we have these different techniques that you can use. So first of all, we have active listening techniques. So you see lots of people do this. They first of all keep their things up and they do not listen. The thing is that when you are listening to something, you should always have active ears. Instead of seeing, instead of focusing on what others are doing, instead of using your other senses, you should be focused on one thing, which is active listening. When you use some of the techniques, there are many techniques, you can find many of them out there. But the most important one is just stay active and listen instead of focusing on the other skills like seeing, etc., reading. Instead of these, you should listen to it, through which you will be able to learn and understand and say and explain what you have just heard. I'm going to explain all of these points in a lot more detail a little bit further. Identifying main ideas and detail in English. Now this one is very important, so I will discuss it a little bit further and I will discuss it a little bit in details. You might have heard this is my personal experience. This is my technique, not my technique, but I use this technique too, which is first of all identifying the main idea. Whenever you are being asked to listen anything, so what is the way you do it? Whenever you are meant to listen something, you just go and write everything down. Like this happened after that, this happened after that, this happened, and usually you are left behind. You cannot catch up to the speed of the sound because writing speed is slower than the speed of speaking, of course. So for that reason, we have a technique that I use mostly, which is writing the main idea. What was the main idea in it? There was a boy who wanted to become, for example, a designer. So he wanted to design houses, and his main idea was becoming an architect. He wanted to become that. And then there is his friend who wants to work at his uncle's restaurant. So there are these main ideas that you will write down with yourself, no details. You do not need to write the details with yourself. Once you have the main idea, you should understand the whole story. After that, you should say that or explain the details in spoken, or while you are speaking, you should explain the details. And if you are on second, then there are 3 types of it. There are 3 different types of it. If this ever happens, these other 2 types are very different. So if you are in a school, college, etc., and you listen the whole comprehension 2 times. So in the first time, pick the main ideas. And in the second time, add the small details. This is also a technique, and then there is the third technique, which is that first of all, take the main ideas, write them down when you are listening it for the first time, and do not write the details. And after that, when you write the main idea, in the second one, do not write anything. Just listen when it's playing second time. Listen and understand it. When you understand it, you will be able to write the details more easily and more frequently, or more amazingly. Simple, not amazingly, but in the most amazing way. So finally, after that, we have listening exercises. We have many exercises, listening to conversations, listening to many more things, listening to dialogues and many more things that we have currently. As being a student who has used the Cambridge English language learning course, in which they teach you about many things. So there are a few things that it shows. There are some activity sheets, weekly activity sheets, and some books for it that you can by, and our university also teaches it. So there are some things like word power, where you learn different words. There is pronunciation, where you listen pronunciation. Then there is dialogues, then there is reading, and then there is listening. These three are the major things that improve your listening. Of course, we know what it is. There will be some file that will play, and you have to write the main idea, whatever the speech is about. Conversation, you will listen to the conversation, then you will say or do the conversation with one of your fellows or one of your peer. And after that, finally, last but not least, you have reading, which you can listen, but usually it's not being listened, it's more of a thing that you read it. So when you are reading it, you will be able to improve your listening skills. And most of you will now ask, Hasnain, how can you improve your listening skills from reading? So there is connection of every skill with another skill, so we should not forget about the other skills. And finally, we have some things that we have here. So first of all, audio resources. There are many audio resources we have, such as podcasts, such as documentaries, as I have documented here. So there are many more things that you can use for making your audio resources, or for having some audio resources. You can have different conversations, you can have different phone calls, etc. You can listen to some people talk, you can have a conversation, or either listen to others' conversation, as usually women do. I'm not gonna say that, I'm sorry, I was just joking, do not get hurt. और इसी तरह अगर देखा जाए तो इस तरह मैंने बहुत सारे लोगों को देखा है जो कि कहते हैं कि हमें इंग्लिश आती है, बट मसला ये है कि हम लोग समझते नहीं है. जब कोई हमारे साथ बात करना चाहता है तो हम लोग समझ नहीं पाते, और हम हड़बड़ा जाते हैं. हम एक किस्म का एक पैनिक किस्म का सिचुएशन बनता है इनके लिए. तो उन लोगों को मैं कहना चाहता हूँ कि फ़र्स्ट ऑफ ऑल अगर देखा जाए तो हड़बड़ाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. और आप क्यों हड़बड़ाते हैं? देखिए, हमारा एक मेंटल स्टेट है. जब आपको कोई वोकैबुलरी नहीं आती ना, बट आपको वो लैंग्वेज की समझ आती है, आप लिसनिंग आपने की हुई है, तो उसकी वजह से आप समझेंगे, तो आप वो एक किस्म का मीनिंग है, कॉन्टेक्चुअल मीनिंग खुद ब खुद आपके जहन में आएगी. इस वर्ड का क्या मतलब हो सकता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर कोई कहे दैट यू डिड अ क्राइम सब्सिक्वेंटली विल पुट यू इन जेल, तो अब आपको अगर इसका मतलब नहीं पता तो इसका मतलब है कि इफ़ यू डिड अ क्राइम सो विल पुट यू इन जेल, इफ़ यू डू अ क्राइम सब्सिक्वेंटली विल पुट यू इन जेल. एक किस्म का एक मीनिंग जहन के अंदर खुद ब खुद बन रही है, एक किस्म की पर्सनल किस्म की मीनिंग. आई एम नॉट गोना से दैट, but in simple words we can use that. And finally, the most important one, which is native speakers. Yes, of course, native speakers, they are very important to listen, क्योंकि अगर देखा जाए तो हम तो नेटिव स्पीकर्स नहीं है ना, तो अगर आप लिसन करेंगे आपकी प्रोनंसिएशन, वोकैबुलरी, ग्रामर, लगभग हर एक चीज़ के अंदर इम्प्रूवमेंट्स आएगी. आपको टिप्स, ट्रिक्स और ट्यूटोरियल्स और ऐसी बहुत सारी चीज़ें भी मिलेंगी, और बहुत सारी डिफरेंट टेक्निक्स और वेज होंगे जिससे आप इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज को सीख पाएंगे और इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज को आप लोगों के साथ शेयर कर पाएंगे. और साथ ही साथ, जिस तरह मैंने अपनी लास्ट वीडियो के अंदर आप लोगों को शॉर्टकट्स सिखाए थे, जिस तरह गॉटचा या कैच लेटर, जिस तरह की है, तो कुछ लोगों को लगता है कि नेटिव्स फास्ट स्पीक करते हैं, तो इस तरह आप लोग छोटे छोटे से कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड वर्जन्स ऑफ सेंटेंसेस वो भी सीख लेंगे, और साथ ही साथ इम्प्रूव करेंगे अपनी listening, speaking और listening skills को. But mostly it is listening, because listening is the best skill among them all. क्योंकि अगर देखा जाए तो listening is one of the best. कुछ लोग तो रीड नहीं कर पाते, उन्हें रीडिंग से प्रॉब्लम होती है, तो वो क्या करते हैं, ऑडियो बुक्स सुनते हैं. और फाइनली, लास्ट बट नॉट लीस्ट, मेजर जो लर्निंग होती है ना, वो ऑडियो बुक्स के थ्रू होती है, ना कि वो किसी किस्म की रीडिंग या किसी किस्म के स्पीकिंग या किसी और चीज़ से होता है. इट्स मेजरली, not majorly, but it's major from listening. So you listen things which helps you and learn and involve and explain many things and learn many more things. So hope you people understood what I meant by all of these things, and if you people didn't, watch the video again. And this is all for our today's video. Thank you so much for staying with me, and Allah Hafiz.